Masiphakame sonke, masiphakame sonke. Ewe sisondele, ewe asondelelane, ewe Oh yes. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Mandi tabathekela thuba ndibulise umfundisi ophakathi kwethu, ndibulise usapho lonke lakulo wara, from both families, the mother and the paternal and the maternal side. Ndibulise Gawara ezikhoyo, ndibulise the Forte community, ndibulise i-community yaKobokobo, ndibulise ke umntu wonke okhona endlini, ikwayari zonke ezikhona naye kubiza enye ndizibone sendisengxakini enkulu, but at least to my attention 3 choirs have been brought. That is the Forte choir, choir and the stars choir. Then came Osbena the choir and the God. Indlu yonke ke le ndibulise wonke bethuna nomkhona endlini le njikalanga ngelihle igama lenkosi yami uYesu Kristu. Amen. Amen. Ongathule wait. Wenze into intoba ingabi ngathi siphumbe kakhulu. Amen. That sounds better. That sounds better. But I'm sure we can still do better. Am I right? Amen. Thank you very much. We are going to start with our program today. For the benefit of those who might not know me, Wandisile Sixoto, a former student in this institution. Program director MC. For reasons that it might mean, you might attempt to say this, but it means the other. So I'm trying to avoid any form of ambiguity that I might be referred to as a mental case. So I'd rather stick to directing the program. Sizamana sikhumsha kabena nasizethu iqeqele sifundiswa. Njeba senibona into ba sizamile wethu noba siwangaphansi ke kodwa kufani bese kufani ke. Ngoba umcimbi nani niyawubona ayike masibhekele entweni esithi babheke lapha ngase-soundini ukuze bayingaphumi kakuhle akasofise. All right, we are going to ask the Forte Choir to stand. Nanoba ninani ndazi apha ngaphambili nabe niplane njani na. Kodwa yes, please come forward. Nizosikhokhela kwela culo lithi liza lisidinga lakho, and it's a sing along. Sicele kutata umfundisi umpande azokusikhokhela ngomthandazo. Ningabe nisitsho nje basingade sithule eyo mapha. Nikwari kalo into sizivumile nje kanti. And as they sing, we all stand as we sing together. Liza lisidinga lakho, Thixo Nkosi yenyaniso. Zonke inhlanga, zonke izizwe mazizuze usindiso. And the verses that follow thereof.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, here we are. Nkosi esizulwini, Thixo mhle wasezulwini, wena wazi izinto esingazaziyo, ubona apho singaboniyo khona. Sikhona kweli holo, Thixo olungileyo, sicela ungene nathi. Makuthi konke okuza kwenzeka, Thixo mhle, ibe koku kufunwa nguwe. Ndiyabulela sowenzile kuYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Amen.
Thank you very much to our very own Forte Choir for such a beautiful rendition. Oh, kunyutsha namhlanje ndiyakuxelela. Ngathi nento ke thina siyazikhumbuza sagqibela uthanda nokukhumsha balo sizihlalela emakhaya. Khona langapha emakhaya kungabe kwabantu abungafani ubakhumshele ngoba othi usazama loo ntwanana yakho yesingesana abantu base bawujonge nje uba uyawenzani ke ngolo. Ngoku sizawubonga ithuba apha loba sikhumshe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending this memorial service Kawara, as he is affectionately known. We are not here to mourn or grieve. We are here to celebrate a life well lived. Oh man, so ngikosha la ndawo apha kwi-opening remarks. Kuwe lo apho kwakufuneka uba uyifaka ku-silent uyibeka apha phambi kwakho ngoba izo-indicate. Akukho zintshukumo izenzayo noko ndiyakholelwa into yoba abatilili banemihla are much more advanced, banayo la option ka-vibrate only. So we request that we give this service the dignity it deserves, and moreover we give Uwara the respect that is due to him. So I plead with everyone to am the pilot ngondume apha. Bakhona ke abantu abazipilotisa ngelinye ixesha. Eyami pilot ngoku uma kwamapha iyaphinda iba ifone enormal. Siyacela ke ifone zifakwe ku silent so that we don't get interrupted. I'm one person who gets easily disturbed. So please bear with me on that one. As I was saying, we are here to celebrate a life well lived. And if one might say it's a life that has been lived beyond his age, as though he knew that ubomi bakhe buzoqhawulwa kamsinya, wangxama ukuphila. And as such, that is not a life that deserves into yoba sizohlala apha sidakumbe, sihlale apha siqumbe, sihlale apha sitsho ngenkonzo ejavujavu. No, no, no. That's not the character we are here to celebrate. Kodwa ibingumntu onguvuka ibambe, ingumntu hyperactive, ingumntu who when he decides to be part of something, he is part of it. And if he decides he's not part of it, then he's not part of it. So I think we must adopt that character in him. Ethi silapha, and njengoba silapha nje ikhona intetho engapha kuthi without offending anyone. Ethi andibambelanga changane. Ndilapha because ndim lulapha. And therefore I need to give my best in participating in this program. We ought to make sure that we give Uwara, as this community, yes, University of Fort Hare, a proper send-off that is befitting to a person of his caliber. So, ndiyacela ke into yoba sidedele igazi. Ndiyacela ke sidedele igazi. Andizucula ke mna namhlanje. Ndizoke ndiqale ndijonge uba indlu le bakhona nabantu phambi koba ndingabizi izithethi zam apha kanti ndizibizela unomgogwana ojavujavana. Ithini eli cala? Inkomo. Inkomo. Ndingasali ndingenayo ncedi. Hayi kaloku ibambe Miss Nomthebe. Ibambe Miss Nomthebe. Uyabona ke umntu onenhliziyo embi ngemini ezinje uyavela ubona uba hey imnyama yona inhliziyo yakhe akafanele nje abe yena swenkile shem kodwa inhliziyo yakhe imnyama. Inhliziyo yakhe imnyama. Umuntu onenhliziyo emhlophe umbona into yoba xa iqala ingoma angalindi into yoba ithi iqalwe nguye ukuze aphakame adude kube mandi nakuye ngoba the sole purpose of us being here is to make sure that the family yakulowara when they leave this venue they feel lighter than when they got in here. And part of doing that is us celebrating the life kaWandisile. Uthini Miss Nomthebe? Mandingasali ndingenayo ncedi. Tenze luncedo ngokuhlala ana. Mandingasali ndingenayo ncedi. Tenze luncedo ngokuhlala ana. Kuthiwa napha siwayo ewe lowa siwayo ewe lowa. Ewe lowa siwayo ewe lowa siwayo ungophilileyo. Ewe lowa siwayo ewe lowa siwayo ewe lowa siwayo ungophilileyo. Neti ayise nanzo onenceba enga ngingelutho wangibeka high wangenza umuntu qhubeka oh ungithathe down ngingelutho wangibeka high wangenza umuntu qhubeka wanginika umvuzo omkhulu wanginika umvuzo omkhulu wanginika umvuzo omkhulu wanginika umvuzo omkhulu waza wanginika umvuzo omkhulu yebo wanginika umvuzo omkhulu wanginika ungithathe down ngingelutho wangibeka high wangenza umuntu qhubeka ke akasiyenze ungithathe down ngingelutho wangibeka high wangenza umuntu qhubeka Nkosi qhubeka Nkosi wanginika umvuzo omkhulu yebo wanginika ke wanginika umvuzo omkhulu ungithathe down ngangingelutho wangibeka high wangenza umuntu qhubeka ke qhubeka Nkosi ungiphumelelise ungithathe down ngangingelutho Jesu wangibeka high wangenza umuntu qhubeka Nkosi qhubeka Nkosi ungiphumelelise hallelujah hallelujah praise be to God that's the spirit endisicelayo emntwini wonke apha that uwara ayingomntu utyhafileyo ayingomntu unegazi elisezantsi noba uthetha into entle igazi lakhe liphezulu noba uzawugeza igazi lakhe liphezulu noba wenzani sendithetha ukuthi igazi lakhe nje linjalo azawuvela kamabali as we proceed with the program with that song bendisithi nje mandenze amagqabantshintshi okuvula sicela ke intsebenziswano nanku ke umyalezo wami omfutshane pha ezithethini ndinesi situlo sam okay bendigqibele ndinesi situlo sam but uright lo ngoba andifuna suke apha bese sithethile ke sobabini uba wenzela ndizosixabanisa sizoxabana nyhani mna ke ingxabano yam ayiyikhusini siyiqhosha apha ngoba ndilapha nawo lapha sikhawuleze siyiqhoshe siyacela ke izithethi ezizoma apha if it is possible, to be concise as they can. You should straight to the point. Zininzi izithethe program yethu inde ngoba sikhavela into yoba singazuba nayo ichance ngecawe yokuthetha sonke. And we know that UARA was involved in many societies and projects. So we wanted that everyone that UARA, or every organization that Wandisile was involved in, be given a platform to say 1 or 2 words in this podium. But kulonto siyacela into yoba, please be brief and be very concise as much as you can. Ukondibona ke ndiphakama kwesa situlo, uyazi uba ibhemile udlugwayo ichayile. So that's the only thing, and izoyicela into yoba in respect of time, and that there is still the COVID virus. Ndiyabona uba i-marks shem abantwana benkosi baye bazityeshela. Akusekho kwazi marks. Ake nikhutshuze i-marks nizifake wenze ba xa ungasathetha ungasacula uthi ho. Isicheme sakho uthi xa ufumene inyoba ke ngoku ufana usinyenyise kodwa masibe khona ukwenzela into yoba ndingazobanjwa mna mntu ngu-program director apha. Kaloku le nto iyastrenywa live, kubukele nabantu abangekhoyo apha inoba babamba amazinyo into yoba yo yintoni le nziwa ngumgedezi kulaa fote, akho kwazi imaski kulaa venue akuyo, kusuke sibone sekungena amarhata esenza ezinye impahla ezi. Ndiyayoyika ke laa mpahla yobuya sethi nguhosha. So please please bear with me on that one. As we proceed with our program, sizocela ke socela Mr. Lungisa azo kusamkela asese esichazela into yoba what is the purpose of this day. So sizocela ke Mr. Lungisa eze ngaphambili. Angatsho nje umuntu onodlwabe evana loba besondela. Oh. Unalo yini kodwa, unalo yephi le sanitize bill up mayize lesibini. Unalo yini kodwa, unalo unalitubalo. Sizikhonzi sevangeli abaphathi emfihlakalo abantu bona othina ke sizikhonzi sevangeli abaphathi emfihlakalo ayabantu ngithathala wangithathala wangibeka lana kutshe ngithathala
Thank you very much to Program Director Umfundisi Umgedezi. Uyandazi kumgera umuntu ongena action ndanganyokwa pha embuthweni weSASCO. Mandithathe lithuba ke siqale sibulele kuwe Program Director. My job is very easy today, is to welcome everyone who is part of this gathering and the purpose of the day. I think everyone heard on the 31st of October that we lost a son, a brother, a cousin, and a friend, Wandisile Sixoto, who happens to be part of the community of the University of Fort Hare. Therefore, today we are here to celebrate his life and to share memories that we can detail that we had encountered with Wandisile Sixoto, who was a student, as I said, in this university, starting from 2011, if I collect or I recollect very well. So we're here to celebrate his life and share our memories with Wandisile, and most importantly, welcome, let's first welcome the family of the Sixoto and welcome the Msebenzi family, because njengoba ethula pastor, umuntu uzalwa kwamacala amabini ke pha esiXhoseni, umuntu uzalwa kuloyise aphinde azalwe kulonina. Therefore we welcome his family to this memorial service. This is a memorial service that is organized by those who had shared some moments with Wandisile in this community of the University of Fort Hare. So this is a way that we pay our tribute to one of our comrades who has fallen. So that is basically what we are here to do today. And let's also welcome Nomfundisi, who is part of the session today. Also welcome the friends of Wandisile Sixoto. Welcome those who had worked with Wandisile, because he was part of many societies and many organizations in the university. I know he was part of Sunrise, he was part of the South African Students' Congress, he was part of the ANC Youth League, the Young Communist League. We welcome all those formations. He was also a president of the Postgraduate Student Association. He worked very closely with the office of GMRDC, which is responsible for issues that are related to postgraduate students and research in the university. We also welcome that unit of the university to this memorial service. We also know that Wandisile, because of his activism in his life as a student, he had received multiple scholarships. We know he was part of the FES family. We know he was part of the Activate family. We know he was part of the Young African Leaders Initiative that is organized by the Southern African Society. Therefore, we welcome all those bodies, because it's very important, because he was part of those bodies. We also know that he was leadership at the provincial level of TASA, the 12th Apostle Student Association. We also welcome that community. So mine is just to lay that protocol which must be observed by the speakers that are to speak after me. And the purpose is that, as I said, we know we had lost Wandisile, a young man, very promising. So we're here to share those memories. I think it won't be fair when I'm Gera not to share my encounters with Wandisile. Wandisile was not far from the person that I was. Therefore, ebesile ke ngeliphandle beke watsho umfundisi daboba uyayifihla. Bengumuntu who does not hide his feelings. Ubingumuntu ebethetha nje phandle athi uba akavumelani nalonto leyo uzayicacisa futhi akubonakalisa uba akavumelani nalento uyithethayo. So that is the kind of person ebesihlala naye. Ngumuntu endinothi xa ndithetha ndithi, you can see in the room there are people who are coming from very far in the parts of the Eastern Cape. Others are coming from the Free State. Kuthiwa ke imoto elandelwa lithuli layo. It's because of relationships he was able to form and his ability to coexist. That is very important. As human beings, we must have that ability to be able to coexist with other human beings, so that when days that are dark like these ones, therefore people we had spent time with can come and relay their own stories about what kind of a person you were. So that is what we are witnessing today. This platform or this gathering must act as an example to us who are still living, who are still enjoying life, to say that how do we coexist with other human beings, so that when you pass, people are able to relay good stories about you. That is very important. As I said, I just want to share this encounter I had with Wandisile. And these are the many encounters that those who are very close to Wandisile would as well relay those encounters. So we happened to be in the South African Students' Congress, USASCO, which is a friend of many students, especially abantu abafikayo in the space of institutions of higher learning. So kuyaliwa in that space, akucengwa mntu. So uthi ke uWandisile we had an encounter ekwenye faction ndikwenye faction pha kuSASCO, therefore kwakusiliwa. You know, when two sides are colliding, it means that izawuba khona friction xa kudibana izinto ezimbini. So uthi ke uWara uyandibhalela pha kwi-inbox kaFacebook. Wakwathi uSibahle ke noba ndiyinjetyiswe isigcawu. That's how he was referring to me. So yena uWara said ndizake ndiyeke mna ke kulaa nja ityiswe isigcawu ndiyoyiva phaa kum. So that was the kind of person that we are going to talk about today. So uthi ke ngoku bendingakwazi ungcole kangaka Sithenkosi. I'm disappointed ukhohlakele. And then I reply, did I know very well, my leader? I've been told that in numerous occasions, so I'm not surprised. I guess now you know. Ndikhohlakele, in fact, ndinzulu. Athi ndikubonile. Kwaye ndiyakukholelwa qhuba mhlekazi. So that is the person that we are going to celebrate today. Let me leave it there so that other speakers can relay and share their experiences about the life of Wandisile. In essence, what I'm saying, let's celebrate the life of a young person who was really promising, but his life was cut short. But into azenzileyo zinto ububona his race is a short race, but he has achieved many things. Thank you very much.
Asibulele kuGebane. Hayi sisazawubalisa apha sisawuhleka silale ngemiqondo ngoba njembe sitsho uGebane kuphuma silwe lo sisezawuncokola ngoWara. This is a day where some of us bazoncama, or it's a day where we are really here to believe it to be true. Bengumeza wami ke mna besihlala sobabini pirates iminyanga yethu imele thetha ukuthi sihleli sobabini. Andimkrokreli ndihleli naye. Andimfuniseli ndihleli naye kakuhle. Yeah ke mntana engwanya. Oh, we are going to swiftly move with our program, and I request that we all stand. Sifumana amagqabantshintshi ngobomi bakhe. Izosincedisa ke la technical team yethu. Sawuphakama njengevesi eyi-1 pha kuJerusalem, ikhaya lam endilithandayo. Then xa iphela la vesi sithule, i-technical team then takes over isifundele. Jerusalem ikhaya la endilithandayo.
Wandisile Sixoto, known to all his friends and comrades as charismatic, eloquent, appealing, and having a sense of humor, was born in Keiskamawuk in the Eastern Cape on the 4th of April 1990 and passed away on Sunday, the 31st of October 2021. He is survived by his parents, Wandisile Sixoto and Wandisile Sixoto, his maternal grandmother and siblings, his sons, Mongezi and Iyazingozi. He did his primary schooling at Masonwabe Primary School and Sivuile Primary School in Keiskamawuk, and completed his high school education in St. Matthew's High School, matriculating in 2009. A 5-year period that would develop him a sense of independence, engagement, and participating in student leadership and as an actor. This prepared him for the huge responsibility lying ahead in political circles. By then, he was already known for participating in culture and entertainment events. His star was beginning to shine. Upon arriving in the University of Fort Hare in 2011, Wandisile was immediately involved in civil society organizations such as Sunrise, advocating for access of students into institutions of higher education. He was brought up in a devoutly Christian home and embraced God's word with deep conviction, hence his active involvement in the formation of 12 Apostle Student Association. As a result of unbearable student living conditions, he was baptized within the ranks of SASCO, an immediate choice of various students who arrive on campus. He later became the deputy branch chairperson of the Alice branch of SASCO in 2014 and led successfully that the branch decided to forward him to Postgraduate Student Association as its president. This is where he spearheaded the Higher A Graduate movement in the Eastern Cape province. In his life on campus, he was both a politically and culturally active fellow. He did not take to his views unknown. He was solid in his stances and can only be persuaded by logical thinking. In his return from the University of West Georgia in the United States of America, where Wandisile was to meet the young there, he told of a country and era of the near future, where young people played a role in contributing to the well-being of society. He said that the ideals of black conscious society are possible. The only thing is to teach each other what these ideals are and actualize them. This young man, who was depicted from the active souls, strived by all means fair to lead an honest life, a life of simplicity, care, trust, and a clean life. He believed that he touched many lives, and for that he is a role model of many, both young and old. Wandisile would, through his love for and dedication to education, obtain a bachelor's degree, honors degree, and master's degree in agricultural extension from the University of Fort Hare between the years 2011 and 2019. He utilized the skills, knowledge, and abilities obtained from the qualifications to plow back to the community of Keiskamawuk by creating a cadre of people by establishing Keiskamawuk Farmers Market Day that would be capable of eradicating the unacceptable high rate of youth unemployment in the area. In 2017, he joined the Fort Cox College Department of Agriculture as a lecturer for agricultural extension and agriculture seminar. Wandile was passionate about teaching agriculture, inspiring many students to develop their creative and practical skills in the field. He believed that agriculture could make a significant difference to the quality of human life, especially in the rural parts of the Eastern Cape. He would go on to cut his teeth in research and community work as an assistant researcher for the Forest Discovery Center attached to the University of Fort Hare, where he presented academic papers on the discipline of agriculture on various local conferences. These initiatives would earn Wandisile scholarships from the Young African Leaders Initiative, Frederick Ebert Sturftang, and Fort Hare Autumn School, Activate Change Drivers, where he would be equipped with good interpersonal and communication skills and knowledge of youth leadership and development issues. Kambe ke iye yetha inkanga ingekadubuli. Uthe uMajeke esaqathalaza etatamshela kwizifundo zobugqirhalwazi kwezemfundo kwicandelo lezolimo, ngeenjongo zokuvingca iintanda zakokwabo nokuphuhliswa isizwe, wafika ugilikanqo wokufa wayikhaba ibhekile umthwembotyi engekabhongisi. When he lied there in his last bed, struggling to breathe on his own without mechanical assistance, it was as if defying the idea of him leaving the earth on the cognizant. He was as if defying the call was due. When doctors declared all is done, we who knew his strength believed that he can defy the call. But as always, those who have hope in themselves needed all of us to have hope in them for them to continue to exist. But regrettably, he was not to be. He was to be cancelled. When his heart stopped to beat, when he lost his consciousness, when his brain ceased to function, we lost him with all his ideas and his will to show us the way. Of course, none of us believed that our leader and our role model had passed. But the best thing to do as we mourn the late Wandisile Sixoto is to bring him to life. It is to celebrate his ideas, his thoughts, and his dreams. It is to be face to face with him and guarantee him that he did not die in vain, and that through memory and actions, smile and laughter, cries and sorrows, we will recreate him. Wandisile will be sorely missed by all who knew him and knew of him. Among the many legends he leaves behind are the numerous people, programs, and partnerships which he inspired and infused with collective sense of prosperous, wealthier, and wiser Africa, capable of defining its own properties, solving its own problems, and being the master of its own destiny. Long live the spirit of Wandisile Sixoto.
Thank you very much. Ithe xa ivala Ithe xa ivala pha lo mntu usifundelayo wathi long live the spirit of Wandisile Sixoto, long live. Long live the spirit of Wandisile Sixoto, long live. And I think we are here to just say that today, that we wish that the spirit of Wara may live longer. Without wasting any time, moving forward with the program, the department has requested that they be squeezed in ngoba uprof needs to rush somewhere. So we'll, before, as utasa as preparation after uprof, ezoza ngaphambili, utasa uzocula le item yakhe, then andiphakamisele izithethi ezi sakwathasa, isithethi sakwa Sunrise, Thasa Mr. A Nqokweni, Sunrise Mr. A Xabadia, PGSA Miss Vim Kobozi, SASCO Mr. A Kamche, the BQ residents uSizuki Polosha, and the UFH convocation Mr. M Cwele. Ndizocela ke uProf Yusuf aze ngaphambili to give us amazwi from the Faculty of Science and Agriculture, singatsho nje ivesi benye as he makes his way forward.
billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of the Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the merciful, we give thanks and praises to the Almighty Allah for giving us the day and then for us to be here. Quoting from Brutus, he said that I have not come to mourn, but to celebrate you. Today, when I heard about the death of my friend, my student, it was the greatest shock of my life, because the last time we spoke together, he gave me hope that he will soon come and join me at Forte. Unfortunately, the hope was that he wanted to meet with his creator. It was very, very sad for me, because Sixoto was my student all the way from 2012, as an undergraduate student. And I was dealing with him. He was very, very political. And he told me that, Yusuf, you are not, I think that you were born in South Africa. I said, no, I only came to South Africa in 2011. And he was asking me, how do I know so much about ANC? How do I know so much about the political landscape in South Africa? And I took him to my place, to my office, and I took him to my house, and he saw the large volume of books about political situation in South Africa. I said, wow, how do you have time to read all this? I said, because I want to know about what is going on in South Africa. And then we became friends. When I was leaving Forte in 2015, he said he's going to protest. Why should I leave? Why should you want me to leave? I said, I have to go. And I went to WSU. By the time I came back, he has already bagged his master's, and I was so happy with him. And we had a very nice relationship. And then when I came to be his PhD supervisor, it was something very, very interesting. But when Professor Aliba told me about his sickness, I couldn't believe it. And I tried to get in touch with him, but because of the COVID protocol, I could not visit him in the hospital. They only allow 15 minutes. So now I got in touch with the sister. I don't know whether the sister is here today, but I was in communication with him almost every day, discussing. And by the time he was discharged from the hospital, we were chatting, and I was also giving him a lot of encouragement. While he was encouraging me, I was encouraging him. Because most of the time when I speak with him, I always shed tears, because this is a guy that we are together and we acted together and do so many discussions, because he was an intellectual, and I really love him for that. Because he said that a lot of the students said that I'm too serious about academics. I said, yeah. And that was why I fell in love with Sixoto. And the relationship was very, very good. And it was very, very sad when his death was announced. I wasn't myself for several days. I wasn't myself. Today, I want to celebrate his life because he lived a fulfilled life. And as you have talked about his legacy, let us keep on the flag flying. His legacy is very, very important because he was very, very passionate about moving South Africa forward. And he was on that path that we should be able to do this thing together. And he was so passionate about it. And I don't want this thing to die just like that. Let us have a legacy for him. Because the legacy he has set can never be erased. When I was at Kiama Mascom to look at the market day, I was so much happy about it. And I was on the part of that. How do we develop it further to go to other communities? This is the legacy of Sixoto, because it was very, very unique, and then we love it. And it was that kind of creativity that we want from all the students on how to move South Africa forward. The brain is there, you have the brain and you have everything. And then we believe that we as lecturers, we should be able to ignite the fire in you to really see how to talk about the development of South Africa. On this occasion, I want to commiserate with the family of my friend, my student, Sixoto. The Lord will be with you. He will continue to guide you, and He will continue to shower His blessings on you. And Sixoto has never died in vain. I think that his footmark will be very, very long in this South Africa and outside South Africa and beyond, because he is a colleague, a friend, a student, and everything to me. And I will carry his flag to anywhere I go in any part of the world. On this one, I want to thank everybody, the students, the staffs, the parents, and everybody that are here because of Sixoto. May the Lord continue to be with each and every one of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof, for those kind words and encouraging words, not just to the family, but to us as the people that knew and lived with. Oh, yes, thank you. As I allow the Tasa Choir to proceed to the stage, Pagaman Bazaran Bet, Nizapanga Pambe. The Funubali Sagibalan El I goni hamba. The Bali Sageli Balana Kel Klasha. Kel Klasha Angenes Pedle Selapes Colwin. Sitala Songa Kapai Pichu. Ungene midweek, so ku approach a weekend. Akana picture yakhe etshela weekend esibhedlela. So a phone komnyusisi ke at the time athi hey izanondlanda apha esibhedlela ndifuna ugoduka. Hayi ucabe uyathintiliza lo sisi uba alandwe. Athi icaba mandiye phaa kumgera ukuthetha nomgera le nto ufuna uyithetha ngoba mna ndizukwazi uyenza le nto uyithethayo. Hayi ndimbonisa uba kalo mkabana ayizukwazi ukwenzeka ngolu hlobo. Umntu akasuka phakamam ke kaloku esibhedlele enganikwanga nto etshoyo ngugqirha into yoba makagoduke. Aqomba okay hayi mandimyeke lo. Athi bafowunele student affairs ku-SD. Athi ku-SD makacele ojaji uba no-life life. Makacele ujaji no-life into yoba bayomlanda esibhedlele. Bangandixeleli. Izofika le nto kum into yoba kuthiwe ndingaxelelwa ndimfowunele wenza kanjani. Ndizothi xela nje awunangqondo mos ufaka abafazi. Umamela lo mntana apha ndithi kuwe mandizolandwa apha. Umamela lo mntana uthi mandingalandwa. Awunangqondo mkhetezi. Ndithi ndakubetha kwedini andiyontanga awunothi andinangqondo. Isiphatho ke saya esibhedlele. Sayocela i-dispensation kugqirha ye-weekend ngoba kucaba sizobuya sinobutshaba ngoku apha ebumelwaneni. Hayi ndathi kulo mntu yesisi make siqhube siye kweli monti. Siyocela le ndoda ngoba kuyabonakala uba uzode ephuma phasi besingasathethisani. Hayi safika esibhedlele sacela kugqirha gqirha hayi ingathi uzive bhetele. Naye ke safuna songeza nebadlana elingayanga phi into yoba kona napha ekhayeni kukho umsebenzi okhoyo. Ngoku besirhalela into yoba ayofika phaa ekhaya nokuba lo msebenzi ungadluli engekho. Sizawuthi ke ngoku ngecawe emalanga simbuyise ke ngokwezesibhedlele aphinda azolala. Hayi ke waxoliswa yiloo nto anyani ugqirha wamjonga wathi hayi ndinganinika i-dispensation ye-weekend ngecawe emalanga ndimcelela apha. Ngecawe emalanga kwangunomjiko bafuna siphinde eMonti uthi urayithi yena kodwa ndithi hayi kalo Mkabane masicela uba uthi urayithi ugqirha makazibhalele ileta ubuya kudischarge ukwenzela into yoba ubungaphinde ugule ngoba ukwaziphuma ngolu hlobo esibhedlele awuphinde uadmithwe. Funeka unikwe ileta ethi uyadischarge. Wavuma ngolo hlobo ndisithi hayi siyocela nje ileta yoba sikudischarge ugqirha kudischarge sibuye ke ngosizohlala apha. Ndithetha ukuthi besiphilisana ngolo hlobo. Over to you. Besondela ngaphambili ezazithethe bendizibizile. Sizophinda sicule emva kwalena ingoma mabeze aba bantu bendibabizile. Thank you.
Ngonyama ulidwala lapha kade
Uthixo
Cela ke sondele zonke zazithethi besizibizile, please. Ayizuphinde ibe kwenye ingoma. Bamba omnye adlulisele komnye kungenomnye ungenomnye ungenomnye socula ugqiba kwezi zithethi bese ndizibizile in the interest of time. Thank you very much. Mr. Nqokweni.
Okay, molweni nonke. Mhlambe ke ungaze kityala mandithi nqanga nentsiba zayo. Manibulele kakhulu kwembhexeshi Mkedezi. Lapha phambi kwenu ndinguAzame igama kwaMqokweni. Ndiphuma phake kuthasa lo gqibucu lapha. Office uWandisile esimbiza ngowara ke beyiphathi yethu. Kule mizuzu ke emithathu ndiyiphiweyo beningathanda nje ndisebenzise umzuzu omnye nje short. Ndibe nengoma nje ndithatha imizuzu emibini ukuthetha. Ndithi asiphelelanga kushort iwara. Sibambe nje lo ngoma. Asiphelelanga, 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 hayi asiphelelanga, kushort iwara asiphelelanga, hayi asiphelelanga, hayi asiphelelanga, hayi asiphelelanga, short iwara asiphelelanga, hayi asiphelelanga, hayi asiphelelanga. Hayas pelelanga, kshotu waras pelela. Hayas pelelanga, hayas pelelanga, hayas pelelanga, kshotu waras pelela. Hayas pelelanga, hayas pelelanga, hayas pelela, kshotu waras pelela. Hayas pelelanga, hayas pelelanga, hayas pelelanga, shotu waras pelelanga. Masibanga. Indeed asiphelelanga. Kodwa ke sinento kanye sinenkolo ethi noxa engekho phakathi kwethu kodwa ukhona. Kuba sithi uwara okanye Wandisile ibingumphefumulo. Umphefumulo ke awufi koko uyatransfereka. badla ngothi ke abathetha isiXhosa esimnandi xa bethetha ngenkosi ke bathi inkosi ayifi ingangcwatywa futhi koko iyatyalwa. It means it multiplies. Xa inkosi kuthiwa awufi because ubukhosi buyagqithisa. Uwara ke beyinkosi. Ndifuna ukuthi nalapha phakathi kwethu ukhona umoya wakho khona. Ndifuna kubazali kwikhaya lakowabo ningaxhali bazali. Ususo nje phakathi kwethu kodwa kona ispirit sakhe sasolo sisiva. Uzathi ungumzali uhleli phaya ekhaya ubone uwara umbona komnye umuntu kusenzeka izinto ezenzeka ngokuwara bekhona kodwa engasekho yena. Uzibuze uba into bayintoni kanti ukhona phakathi kwenu and uyanibona and ungakhali bazali uThixo uzosebenza ngowara esebenza komnye umuntu. Ekhaya into bezowenza azokwenzeka ewe akuzufana naye kuba uzombona yena kodwa imisebenzi yakhe yosoloku ibonakala. Ndimbiza ke ndikanye ndimfanisa nenkosi kuba beyinkosi izinto bezenza bezibonisa ubukhosi. Ube xa ethetha athi inkokheli. There was this one time ndipha kuThasa, I think it was 2017 if not 18. Ndandizonyula as a chairperson and ndingafuni ke unyula ndiqonda yo andifuni unyula as a chairperson. Wathi ke ndithetha naye ndithe leadership abafuna ukunyula pha and andifuni melanto. Udla ngothi inkokheli xa ethetha athi inkokheli into enamandla phakathi ithatha. Uthi thatha amandla nkokheli. Uthi shine uthi sukoyika nkokheli ngena ndayicinga zoyithini uthi nkokheli amandla wathatha. Ube ngumuntu enjalo ke loo nto ingqinwa zinto ezininzi kanye i-associations ebekuzo nendawo bekuzo kuba bengumuntu othandayo ukushayina wherever he was. So kuThasa ke ube negalelo kanye indima enkulu ayidlalileyo nje bese kushiwo ngaphambili. He was once part of the NEM, the PC of the province kuThasa. I-contribution, impact abenayo ibinkulu kakhulu. There was, I think 2 weeks ago, the former NEC chairperson of Thasa, Uvuyo Zungula, who is now the ATM president, wrote on Facebook ebhala about inhlungu kwakuyo ngokuhamba kwawara ethetha ke ngegalelo benalo ukukhuliseni umbutho okanye ukukhuliseni njalo i-Student Association esingithaza ebenegalelo elikhulu. And xa ndizohlala phansi ndifuna ukuthi bazali abazali ixesha elininzi xa sisube sihamba thina singabantwana sishiya amakhaya singela amakhaya siya kwiindawo ezifana nesikolo okanye impangelo baye babe nexhala ngamanye amaxesha ukuba lo mntwana akazi uyasirepresenta akazi uba uyasibonakalisa na apha yakhona. Abazali abaninzi sisuke emakhaya sirayithi xa sifika mhlawumbe sishintshwe lilizwe umzali athi xa ngaphakathi bahamba abantu bebatsha bebadala bebancinci benjani kodwa wena sibuza umbuzo uba why usasele ulapha wena why kuhamba abantu ababona benenxaxheba negalelo ebomini abelenzayo babemi babani kodwa wena usekhona apha uhlalele ntoni na. Ingaba mhla ndifuna nje uzibuza umbuzo ezinhlala phansi ingaba mhla wahamba wena sizawuthi saphumla na okanye sawukhala ngawe. Namhlanje siyakhala bakwambi wara because sazi igalelo benalo. Khawe sibuza umbuzo ba njengoba ushekile yintoni oshekile mhlawumbe usheke nje ikhonto khona bufulungise khona khawulungise ke bazali yibani nizince nizingombe isifo because uwara unipresentile phakathi kwethu inkosi.
Thank you very much. Semqokweni ndicela ke Vuvu ndizawuvulela wena uze in the interim ndicela abantu baka Sunrise banibambe ecaleni also is it going live? Oh, sizakwazi umbukela uzawuvela pha. Okay, u-Atzer u-Atzer nanko ke ngena Dlamini. Tata Mhlekazi, unmute and then speak. Kawuphinde unmute Dlamini. Continue. let's work on that technical team. In the process,
Program Director.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Good afternoon, Program Director, the family of the late Comrade Sixoto, comrades and friends, colleagues. Though this might sound unusual, comrades, but I thank God that I could not witness this child leader when he was sick. This is only because I believe that memory for me will be distorted, that I've enjoyed with him working tirelessly, changing the lives of the African child. Thanks God that I only know and knew the energetic fighter, a fearless leader, a writer, a visionary dreamer, and not the one who could not speak and write anymore. Comrades, friends, I've learned a lot from this comrade, both as his leader when we were leading together and when he was my leader. I led him in Sunrise as a deputy chair in 2012. In 2013, we led together, him taking the position I took before, the position of deputy chairperson, and then I became the secretary, while Bob was becoming the head of operation. Throughout all these years, comrades, Comrade Wara was an honest man, principled, and he spoke truth to power, comrades. Those who have worked with him will agree with me that when you agree on a program with Wara, you will execute it without any failure. He was committed to sharing knowledge to those with none, bringing hope to the hopeless. He loved education, not only for himself, but for every African child. Comrades, because of time, I will draw a few memories that will demonstrate the values through which this child leader lived to. Wara was a man who stood up to his convictions, and he always wanted to succeed. And that is demonstrated on his achievements at his tender age. I met Comrade Wara during the first year. When we were doing the first year, we were staying at ZK in the same corridor. We attended the same practical labs. The conviction that Wara showed in the lab when we were doing biology practicals was highly demonstrated when he entered the competition, a biological competition. I'm sure majority of you will remember that he entered a competition where he was presenting some biological work on photosynthesis. He always wanted to lead from the front, comrades. You know, when I recruited Wara to Sunrise as his deputy then, because he always wanted to lead from the front, he was conducting, in fact, members of Sunrise saw it fit to elect him as the deputy. And then he lobbied for me to be a secretary during that particular period. It is this period, comrades, where we visited many rural schools of the Eastern Cape using Sunrise and university resources. So we were raising the name of the organization, which is our Sunrise and the University of Fort Hare, visiting all the rural schools, bringing hope to the hopelessness, bringing hope to those learners in rural areas who at times, because of their backgrounds, they don't know what to do after passing matric. But it was that time, comrades, where teachers, parents, and learners in those high schools will cry in tears after this child leader has spoken, have motivated them. They will cry literally, because parents could see the future of their children through the words that this comrade have spoken. It was this period, comrades, where our leadership decided to call the then Secretary General of the ANC, it was Wara who insisted that we must call in so that they know the work that we are doing for the child of an Africa, for children of Africa. Comrade Wara was a dependable comrade. He was one of the comrades one could rely on. Those who have worked with him, they know that you could depend on Wara on many tasks to be executed. I remember vividly when myself, Comrade Bob Chetu, Gwantu, and Pun, all others were leading Sunrise, destruction of Sunrise. Upper structure and lead until today, and defended that it can't be that an organization that is funded through levies of students would have leadership that would be there for a cause with this leader. And we won it. It was through the then student developer came back to his student. As we speak, Sunrise is in all universities. Everyone could be elected and everyone could just leave the office whenever the term is finished. That democratic right was spearheaded by this gallant fighter, Comrade Wandisile Sixoto. Wara was an academic, a writer. I remember when I was a student in China, Mr. Njeza called me to say, hey, Comrade Avil, there's something we want to do here. I want you, yourself and Sixoto to work on how do we tackle the agricultural unemployment? How do we bring in agricultural unemployed graduates in the memorandum that they were going to submit at Bishop? We drafted that with Comrade Wara and submitted it to the drafting team that will draft the overall memorandum that was to be submitted to the Premier then. Wara was so instrumental in writing that. Few weeks later, we then decided to write an article about that particular policy proposal. And I can tell you, comrade, that article was published in one of the the biggest magazine in agriculture in the land, which is called the Farmers Weekly. Those who attend the shop, they will see it in all the spots and all the shops. It's very big and it's read by very important people in the industry. It was then that we submitted that article that we wrote, myself and Sixoto and Mark. It covered 3 pages, comrades, that article. It tells you about the depth of the proposition that this gallant fighter was presenting to the people of South Africa and how do we employ a majority of unemployed graduates at the time. As we speak, comrades, those who are familiar with agriculture, they will know that the Department of Agriculture is implementing some of the propositions that we presented to that article. Comrades, due to the relationship we had, it was so easy for me to even recruit Comrade Sixoto to SASCO. I remember comrades would always ask him because they knew his intellectual capacity. When are you bringing Comrade Sixoto to the BGMs of SASCO? So I did that, but it was very difficult because Wara at first liked the developmental organization. So he felt that he was too honest for politics. But because of the battle won in Sunrise, then he later joined SASCO, and the rest is history as he led SASCO with other comrades. As I close, comrades, I commit to talk to the provincial structures of Sunrise to keep the name of this foreign hero of our time. I am aware that they've respected him while he was still alive. They were calling him in all their programs, and he was presenting in all of them. May the revolutionary spirit of Comrade Wara guide us to do more, be selfless. And I can imagine, comrades, if Wara was not a selfless leader, was a selfish leader, he would have opted to just open a business for himself and not do this selfless engagement that he was, and he would be a billionaire by now. But he opted to be selfless and care for the poor and the hopelessness. Lala ngotolo mtu to us, you will remain our leader. Madla.
For those that again are going to be going live stream, the technical team here to brief them at 5 o'clock. We are shedding, so we are at 4:15. So we need to wrap the program as fast as we can. I'm pleading with the speakers that are going to speak now, be cognizant of the fact that it's 4:15. At 5 o'clock, we get load shedder, and Sisalinde and Chumayel. My Benatik in course.
Ngosi program director. Andizibamde. Mandizibulisele kumuntu wonke okhoyo apha. Wandisile's death is a profound loss, not only to his family, but to all of us. Although no words can help to ease the pain and the loss we collectively bear, his family must know that they are close to our thoughts and prayers. We pray that God will comfort and sustain through this difficult time and in future. I met Wandisile Sixoto in 2017 when we were elected as postgraduate. He was a chairperson and I was a secretary. Leader ke ibizibonakalisa. When we started this, he said we have to drive this leader yam. Wati xa ethetha ndiquntsule kumaza wayethetha wathi I structure ke leader sifonyishwa yi-secretary ne-chairperson size siqhube sizawuqhuba ke saqhuba ke nale leader silwile njengoba bebesitsho besithi ibingumuntu othanda ukulwa besingalwi nje ke besisula amadabi siwaphumele silwile ke no leader ndikhumbula mini ithile i-postgraduates zo as residents. Bear in mind ke ndisebenza kwa residents ndibane ndimhlebela ndithi hayi kaloku leader mna ndizukwazi uyilwa le because kaloku ndisebenza ngapha funeke at least kube wena phambili hayi uleader mhlobo wam wathi hayi mhlobo wam yima wena safike kuthethe mina pha wathetha saphumela sambona nyani ba yileader uzibonakalisile ke sithe xa sisenza laa nto kuthiwa yi-POA abstraction wazibonakalisa ke uleader esenza i-community into zesithi masenzeni i-communities i-community building izinto njengezinto wayizenza zamafama uzibonakalisile endaweni yakhe ukukota kwinto ibisenzeka izolo kwi-memorial service yakhe uthe umuntu wamafama wakwa-agriculture wathi bazovula i-market center bayibize ngokuba iWandisile Sixoto market center ndavuya danimiculu. Ibonakalisa ke lonto uba a good leader. He was a good friend. He held in high esteem by all and always made his presence when he was in the company of people because of his self-confidence and righteousness. Ebengumuntu straightforward ke. Ebesitsho thi yabona kandoyiki mntu ke mna ke leader. Yabona mhlobam sizawuhamba pha sizawuthetha nabo siziboyika ibingumuntu onjalo umuntu obold naxa ithetha. As I conclude ebesilo program director ba masibe bancinci sinciphe. I would say goodbye my friend, goodbye leader, goodbye inkokheli. Uhambo lakho lusothusile kodwa siyazi ukuthi apho khona usijongile. Goodbye my friend.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Chetu, and manabusa khona na bendicimba ke upresident umuntu ozothetha convocations othetha sasiqibile structures, but Mr. Cele, let's move forward, sir.
Thanks, Program Director. I will be very brief, Program Director, because of time that you have already indicated. And you must worry not about the pamphlet that I'm carrying. It's just that font, Kangamalala. So, 1 page, 2 lines. 1 page, 2 lines. Then I will be done in that order. Program Director, allow me then to extend my special greetings to the family of Mr. Wandisile Sixoto, both the family from the side of the mother and the father, to his organization, South African Student Congress, and to his friends that are here, and everyone that is in attendance. And Program Director, you must allow me, therefore, to observe the well-established protocol of this memorial service due to time. Without further ado, Program Director, I am the chairperson of the Eastern Cape chapter from the University of Fort Hare, but I'm delegated today by the convocation of our institution. I had an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to work with Sixoto in the student organization, in the student movement, in pursuit of the welfare of students, and also have interacted with him in a number of occasions within the society. But before I can go further, there was a day when we were leading together in Sasco, just to be brief. And that day he was a deputy chairperson, and I was the chairperson. So there was a conflict in the branch executive committee. So the secretariat of the branch took a decision that Sixoto zangayithande, and he was very angry, and he came to me, I was very surprised, but I'm engaged as a comrade, and I'm bomba sekubile. Early in the morning, he came with the letter. Why submit? And that letter he submitted, he did not calculate that we were going to still need him in the near future. La ambikasha konyulwa candidates. And when candidates were elected, I was also the candidate, so now I can't chair. The only chairperson ekufuneka cherish nguye, and uresignile. But sabe singakayixoxi formal. Abaze kuma athi sayithina le nomhlobo wami ndithi sizawulimala because phaya asizorecommendwa kula BEC. Athi Sixoto, no, it's fine. Beningakayixoxi formal sithi no. Athi ndawo la letter nandinike wena. And I said, no. Isekhona isepha office edrawini. Wathi masiyoyithatha mhlobo wami ilahleke, isalahleke nangoke lo letter. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want to say is that indeed a hero has fallen. The leader has left us. The most prominent alumnus of our alma mater has left us. And also the former PhD student of our institution. Former PhD student of our institution. It's very painful. This is a huge loss to our generation. And we are losing Sixoto at a critical time when this country needs leaders of his caliber. But however, we strongly believe that there will be another Sixoto in the near future. And we must learn from his principles. He was a true Fortarian, ladies and gentlemen, critically engaged on various developmental projects and the programs in our society. Therefore, the convocation is really painful that he didn't get a time to be well absorbed by the labor market, so to share his capabilities and skills. That's why today I want to say the labor market indeed missed an opportunity to have a very brilliant Fort Alumni in our lifetime. I had an opportunity again to meet with him when he was engaged on the projects of the community, of the marketing of the small businesses in agriculture. He was very busy on that day. We met in a rural town, far as from Flagstaff. He was there marketing small businesses. And the reason of that, it is because he was very committed. He was very committed to the rural economy for the purposes of dismantling the poverty. And one of the things Sixoto hated the most is the poverty. He hated the poverty. Indlela beyazi kwaye ibilutshaba kuye. Ade umve ngamanye amaxesha esithi ndiyakutyhala ngesifuba kuqhawuka amaqhaga. Ebetho elo lizwi xa kukho into engamenza azibone edodobala ekulweni idabi lendlala. Ubeyihloniphile ke ngakumbi imvelaphi yakhe nenkcubeko yakhe bazali bakhe. Xa eza kuthetha ngamanye amaxesha ubumva esithi okanye kwimisitho eyahlukeneyo umbone khahlela amanyanga kokwabo ewabiza ngamagama ade athi uze undenze ndingagevezeli amadolo phakathi kwabantu. Ngelo xesha uza kunqumla xa enikwe ithuba. Usixotho ke lowo. Yiyo loo nto namhlanje ndifuna ukuthi nam camagu kumoya kaSixotho kwikhaya ke nakwizihlobo nabahlobo bakhe bonke ndiyafuna ukuthi bazali uthi ngenye imini elinye leciko lokuciciyela umqambi wamaculo uMike Ngqokolo uthi ewe bunjalo ubomi. Athi xa isithi ewe bunjalo ubomi uthi kuba mhlophe kuba mnyama kuyimini kuba busuku kulusizi kuyavuywa zizijwili yimincili athi ewe ndithi bunjalo ubomi apha emhlabeni. So yiloo nto ndisithi ke bazali zenanixole. Sixoto has done his role when he was fighting for the success and access of students in the system of this university. As the convocation, we are very pleased with his meaningful contribution that he has done in our society. We will forever giving honor to him. But as I'm learning, this was a very principled leader. This was a very principled leader and was always prepared to be rejected than to compromise the truth. That's what Sixoto was. You better reject him rather than to compromise the truth. Therefore, he lived a life that matters, as it is well defined by B. Wilson Kosi. He lived a fight to fight for the cause. He lived a life to fight for the cause, not for the applause. He also lived a life to express, not to impress anybody. That's what Sixoto was. Mandwasonga ke izinto ziphuma phansi kwentaba kaSomgxada kwanocollege kufuphi neTyume Mlambokazi. Mandigxininise ke ngoko ndicela uSixoto ethetha ngongqondo gqirha borhulumente onyamnyeko. He was at the forefront of the higher graduate campaign. Let's continue with the fight against unemployment, poverty and inequality in honor of this fallen hero. Let's continue to support the renewal of our institution in honor of this leader. He valued his university. You will recall a number of occasions wearing his Forte alumni blazer. I thank you very much. May his soul rest.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President Kwele. Thank you so much. That is very mouthful and indeed true. And ndicela Mr. Bamanye Nzima to deliver the message from Mr. Kamche, who's the provincial chair, I suppose. Am I right? Yes. So, yeah.
Mandla. Away too. Greetings to the House at large. I've been given a task to come and deliver this message. The task was delivered by the branch leadership of SASCO in this prestigious university. I'm given a task to deliver a message about a very rare breed of the movement. From the program, as you have seen, the credential speaks for itself. Comrades Sixoto is one of the rare breeds that SASCO now in our days misses out. In our days, it's very rare to see a leader of SASCO being active in all societies that are present in the institution, to transform the institution at large, to build the student activism at large. The student movement has lost a giant, Comrade Sixoto was one of the people that you will rely on when at times Zukulwa. You will know that there are some certain comrades that you trust to deliver the mandate of the movement, and this Comrade Sixoto was one of those. The message of the student movement at large reads as follows. Comrade Sixoto, it is no wonder that your untimely death has caused such an outpouring of love and expression of boundless admiration. Even those of us who knew about your illness, in the little time we had, we could not conceive of it taking you away from us. This is a huge loss to the student movement at large. You fought your illness like a lion. President that you died, dear comrade, as you lived, facing the situation on the basis of fighting a plan to change it and urging everyone to do the same with the courage of your convictions. Dear comrade Sixoto, we ask that you forgive our tears as we mourn your loss. Our sorrow knows no bounds, but we pledge to you today that here on, we will heed your call not to cry, but to march on. The branch leadership has the task now to propose to the PEC and other structures of the movement to convert the name of this branch from being Alice branch to being Wandisile Sixoto branch, because this comrade led in difficult times for this institution. Comrade Sixoto will indeed hold high the banner of our movement. The movement you spared no effort to strengthen so as to make it the wealthiest student movement in our lifetime. We will march on, each one of us taking our place to turn all the success achieved to date. By the fighting spirit that you had during your days in our activists. Dearest comrade, even though your life was filled with so many sorrows, you never once complained, but marched on along your chosen path. Comrade Sixoto was a very rare breed because the circumstances that he grew up to never allowed him to change the circumstances and what he wants to achieve in life. Which is something very rare in our generation. We forget that the reason we come to universities, we come to change the situation that we're coming back from. Comrade Sixoto was one of the people that we have lost in our generation that believed in such. Dearest comrade, to move on, program director says, on the day of his departure, Comrade Sixoto, God saw him getting tired, and the chore was not to be. Ifemili was there, so he wrapped his arms around him and whispered, "Come to me." With tearful eyes, Ifemili suffered and slowly faded away. Although we loved him dearly, we could not let him stay. A golden heart that is strong and fighting stopped beating. Hard-working hands and mind put to rest. God broke our hearts to prove that he only takes the best. Long live Comrade Sixoto, long live. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nzima. Ngokumetri ezangaphambile, ndicela ke abantu umntu ka FES and a delegate from the Fort Cox College because uke wa lecturisha khona by Fort Cox. So ndiyacela as umetri siza irep ka FES and the speaker from Fort Cox, they approach the presidium. I'm making this, we need to run very fast. We are left with literally less than 30 minutes here. So can we please be as concise as we can? Thank you. This is okay.
Chair, kakhulu. I'll be brief because of the time. But umbaxa yonke lento sizoyenza ngoba lo muntu sithetha ngaye ngumuntu omkhulu ngokwentethe esiXhosa, because Wandi was such a brave person. Mandizibulisele ke kodwa to the house at large, guys. Time is too short. I greet you all in this afternoon in the name of Jesus. Ndingumama ke mna ke lo kaWandi walapha esikolweni. Aba mama bashiye pha ngemva mamam kamnandi sesike sadibana sobabini. Ndingula mama ke mna kulapha ngaphakathi sinabanye sibakhona nabanye mama esinabo esithi sibeke iliso kwaba bantwana bethu ngabethu xa belapha. Residences is the home away from home from every student ophuma ekhaya.
aba bantwana baphuma emakhaya kubazali bephathisiwe imiphako, baphuma kubazali beyaliwe. Bambi bathi xa befikile ngaphakathi bafike babambe la mithetho bayinikwe ekhaya. Bambi they sleep up because kaloku xa engena efika baba yonke lento intsha kubo, umntu aenda pheke usebhuda nestep, kodwa ke we are here ukuthi sibaguide. I think ixesha esinalo noWandi sisebhityu. Ebhityu besinakuleli xesha ufike uWandi ngo-2016. Ufike oomgedezi bafike emva bona elaa xesha. Bebengekafiki nangona efike wangulo mntu undwebileyo. uWandi was such a humbled person, guys. Everybody angayingqina loo nto leyo. Very humbled and umntu active. Whenever you give uWandi a task, uWandi will never disappoint you, not even once. And he's never done that. But kukhona ke izinto bendiye nditsho ndithi maybe it's because lo mntu kaloku he has that political background anayo. Afike ke apha kumo singaba mama thina. Uzawufika apha kumo unkabi uthe xa siza wazichaza into uyabona ke mother, bethi mother ke uyabona ke mother, ndinyulwe ke ndingu-president of i-postgraduates. Mna, oh, that's good news, Wandi. Uyayibona nje imnandi lento iyavuyisa, because now it shows that you are growing up. Now you are capable to do things. You can stand on your own. Lidlulile iveki. After that week uyabuya uWandi. Uza namaxwebhu elist ezingaka. Zeza postgraduates. Mna Wandi kaloku sinazo ezi list up. We don't have to bring any because they're coming straight from i-residence office. And then we can like sibafake ngalendlela ke ngokwezi list zethu. Athi yabona ke metri le irongo ilist masebenzise le ilist. Wait Wandi, let me call Odwa azoninika direction. Odwa, do you have any idea ye list ezintsha besides ezibunike zona? No, matri. I have the other list here, but some people are here, some are not. Kwezi zakhe people are extended in numbers zakhona. Now litho ke kumother ke ngoku masithethe ke ngoku isintu. Yes. As a mother ke ngoku umama kaWandi ndifuna ke ngoku sikhe senze ngalendlela yethu. Okay, fine Wandi. What we can do is to use this list sigqibe aba, and then your added list we will add it after. And we did so. Ngoba kaloku nathi singabazali at the end of the day. Singabazali at the end of the day. Fana uthi kuze ube ngumzali ube nenimba. Inimba iyo nimba yomntana luphuma endlini yakho kuphela. Inimba onayo for every child. So singabo bazali banjalo ke thina. So uGeme leno mna ndaqaphela into ba wezondixelela nje zo addressa le nto apha kumba uzaba ungu-president onyuliweyo wena into we-postgraduates ebelungiselela lo mcimbi and nothing else. So bekumnandi ukuhlala noWandi, guys, even nabo omgedezi aba. At the end of the day, dithi bazali siyabulela. Siyabulela ngento yonke enisenzela yona, ngoba xa nibathumela apha esikolweni niyancedisa. Bafika apha kuthi noko kukhona umahluko. Kuba mnandi ke bazali masiphathisane ngolu hlobo. Enkosi.
Ngumetro wam bethuna nalo. Sisuke kunye eJabavu. Ufika kwam apha ndafikela kuye engumetro naseJabavu, ndihlala eJabavu. Ndake ndatshiza ke ndayobutha e-student village ngenxa yeza rooms azithethisa. Ndabadinwa kuwuthutha igrocery uyotshona evillage, ndabuyela apha eBhityu. Ndafikela ke kumkabane pha. Just a short announcement for Ababantu. I've got good and bad news. The good news is it might not really affect us here. It must take forever. Hallelujah. Yes. We have tried to get a generator as our kwazi. ukuba for at least 10 minutes outside elaa xesha sibe siyakwazi ukugqibezela, which I suppose sobe seshiyeke nentshumayelo ngapha okanye seyi-vote of thanks nomfundisi seyithe ram tree. Abantu ke belive ones affected for a few seconds. Ngeli xesha sakhathayo i-generator iphinde ikhikhe in, but laa nto yethu kuthiwa ke ayingomandla ngamarhazula. Ayixhomekekanga kulo MTN uzawuhamba phaa phandle. Izawuqhubeleka i-live streamer, so but we might have a disturbance kancinci in the connectivity. For Mr. Lanzela, who's a rep from Fort Cox. Nkosi tata. Siyekile ugwaba ngoku xesha.
Community. The Sixoto family. Naye wonke umuntu bethu okhoyo apha. Andinaxesha lininzi. Ndime apha ngumzuzu nje mnye. Sithunywe uba sizothi sinani. Ndamgedezi lo mfana ndiqale umazi ndiselapha e40. He was one of my students. Bago 2011, 2012. Ungandeleli wena ucinge fan ba noko. There are some products esizibonayo apha nangoku. Kwenzeka ngoba siphinde siyodibana pha eFort Cox ngexesha ebe lectureisha pha on contract pha mentorishwa city. So ndifuna ukuthi we have played a role in shaping his career path. You know, uke wafuna uspeeda ngexesha besipha xa kuzawuphela icontract yakhe. Kwanyanzeleka into yoba nanje ngomuntu omkhulisileyo apha kwiacademia makubizwe mina ndithethe naye ufuna uqeshwa ngenkani. There are many Mgedezi kinds of people, many, several. But okwangoku bendinozibala zibe 12. But okwangoku mandicaphule nje zibe 3. Ezi ziyinani uzunditashe xa nilaphandle. Kukho igroup yabantu aba-aggressive naba-arrogant. Othi xa uthi kuye masiye endaweni ethile athi andiyi apho mna sendinezam ii-plans. Kubekho igroup yabantu aba-passive. Othi xa uthi kuye masiye endaweni ethile angabuzi uba siyothini. Akhwele emotweni ahambe. Afika azibone sekupha uba akaqualify kule ndawo besiza kuyo. Kubekho igroup yabantu aba-assertive. uSixoto was falling into that group. Umuntu ukwazi engage up until you find a solution in whatever that you are talking about. So, xa ndimjonga ndim-analyze ibe ngumuntu assertive. Ongavumi nje lula engakhange wana input. Kodwa mandiyishiye into ethi apha program director ningatyanga ixesha lakho. Kwenzeke apha laa nto yakhe yenzeka kumzukulwana welinye ixhego. Lo mzukulwana ebona intaka wathula isikhala. Laphuma elixhego elincamile endlini lathi la umjonga lafika ejonge phezulu. Laphinda labuyela endlini layotsala intsimbi. Licinga fana binobubona inyoka. Xa libuya lifika libuza kwenzeka ntoni mzukulwana. Wathi intaka. Ubona le ntaka ihleli esebeni elomileyo lizawuphuka. Lithi lixeko itheni intaka. Uthi umzukulwana ukophuka kwela sebe izawuwa. Lijike lixeko liyobeka intsimbi yalo endlini libuye. Lithi look, noba lingephuke la sebe kodwa inamaphiko. Izawubhabha Ndifuna ukuthi family ne-Fort Hare community, don't worry, kophuka nje isebe elomileyo apha. Yena umile amaphiko kokhozi. Wabhapha. Enkosi program director.
Nkosi Mtakalandzela. Nkosi Mtakalandzela. Umshumayeli kabashumayela abanikwa nje pulpit ubonga ithuba ngo. Kambe wasewisile. Akadlali ngenyoba ababone khona umboko uyaqhawula. Enkosi kakhulu Mr Landzela. Abantu ke bapha kwa science bazawumazi ngelixesha belapha eFort. Abantu abapha kwa science and agri bazawumchana kakuhle pha eFort ulalandzela wodumo. Let's call forward to Mr Lutiti from FES.
Ndicela uzibulisela nami ngumadoda wakwaLudidi umthimkhulu uBhungane ithole lesilwane. Kunzima kuthethe eFort Hare uthethe emveni kwabefundisi neprofessor and so on and so forth. Gamagama afutshane ngumlontsho lo, however we move forward. Ukuthetha ngoWandisile ke is no mean feat ngenxa yento yokubana ngaba ininzi into esinothetha ngayo and singathetha kuse. So kunzima for umuntu who's come into contact naye azama uba specific athethe ngento ezawuba direct and ibe concise. However, we move. Ndicela unibulisa nonke on behalf of the Fort Hare Autumn School Alumni Network, which is one of the formations esinazo apha eFort Hare, of which Mr. Sixoto was a member, and quite valuable a member, I might add. Ngokuthetha njalo ndithetha ukubana ndime kule ndawo nje representa a global network of academics and intellectuals and activists and so on and so forth, all of which UARA had made an indelible impact on. Influence kaSixoto is immeasurable in terms of words. His impact on us, though we are intellectuals, is tantamount to being spiritual. I was not even aware how involved he was in terms of imibutho yecawe, but it stands to reason. The FES Fort Hare Autumn School Alumni Network would like to extend their heartfelt gratitude to the family for the opportunity of the time spent with him. They'd also, of course, like to extend their condolences. UWandisile Sixoto wayengumuntu wayekholwa kakhulu critical engagement. And in saying that, I want you to understand that there is a lot that you must understand by that, because ungaqaphela into yobana ngaba apha wonke umuntu utsho ubana wayethetha into ngomlomo wakhe, but wayengengomntu owayene-enemies. Not one of these people who will tell you that wake wanditi would ever tell you that why enemy yakhe. And it's because he cherished and loved into ekuthiwa critical engagement. Wayeyithatha i-idea akholelwe kuyo, but engakholelwa kuyo ngokucinezela enye. Waye athi kwakule engathi ayivakali, make sikhangele uba yintoni engathi iyavakala, siqhagamishelanise kutsho kuphume into eyiyo. UWandisile Sixoto was never someone who engaged in a debate in order to be right or wrong. He is someone who engaged such that no matter kwenzeke ntoni siphuma nento eyenza sense. So more than anything, I'd like to impress upon the group that as the network silahlekelwe, and there are many things ebesisebenza naye that would come to fruition in the near future, and I believe they will still come to fruition. loo nto leyo ingqina le nto ibithethwa ngabantu ukubana ngaba his ideas will live on. There are people. Sinengxaki, Program Director? Oh, okay. Mama ndikhawulezise ke. Kukhona ke intetho ethi the good die young. And loo ntetho asizuyithatha too literally because mninzi into omdala apha. So, you know, as you get old in life, you begin to realize the value of an individual. The fact that mna kule ndawo endikuyo noba ndiyaphi ndidibana nomntu who can tell me ba why happy man uSixoto? People who met him for 30 seconds in some faraway land, but xa bedibana nam kwenye indawo bathi oh ungaba bakaSixoto. Ndithetha into ethi ngumuntu omkhulu esetha ngaye namhlanje, and andifuni wagqobha maninzi mahle. Ndicela nje ukuthi sinani bantu bekhaya, bantu bakaSixoto, and his spirit will never die. Long live Wandisile.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lutidi, for those beautiful words that are due to Mr. Sixoto. Ndizawucela ke la choir yam yasesDazim for a few seconds, each on the item A1. Then, after that, ndicele Mr. Williams from Ufost. And then I'm informed that, actually, oh no, Mr. Williams, please, ngicela sivulele, is Mr. Bitso still waiting there? Ngicela sivulele Mr. Bitso ozongena ngenantsika. Payana, before we shut off mhlawumbi system, that UGMRDC athethe before then, tina we can continue tina slaba. So make it, I have 2 seconds for you, literally in the true sense. I have 2 seconds for you. I have 2 seconds. So, ndicela ke sibe si-connecta no Mr. Bitso from GMRDC. As when the choir steps down, sicela into yoba he must come through. Thank you. Just one sweet, cute item. You behave. Huh? Then I might just be tempted to call you back again on stage at a later stage. Are we there, Mr. Bitso? Can you hear us, Mr. Bitso? Please unmute, sir. Mr. Bitso, unmute. Help me then, Tegi. As he switched on his video, we can't see him on the screen. Can you switch on his video and unmute? We are really pressed for time. Is it not? Please unmute Mr. Bitso and switch on your video, please. Tegi, are you able to get hold of him? I'm worried that if I fare better and as soon as, once Natsuga is going to be cut off, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it. We are not at the helm of ESCOM. We really can't do much about load shedding at this point. Can you hear us though? Unmute your video, sir. Just to see the face, then we'll work on. But you can hear me. Can he unmute his video? And it can't be going on Zoom for the first time, right? Where he must accept all those things. That might be the technicality. Did he allow permissions when he was creating all those things so that Zoom can allow him to Zoom and... Did we, are we sorted now?
You're not going to get any money. You're not going to get any.
We can hear you, ma'am, now. So, can just tone down. We can get the sound now, but we still can't get the video. We can continue outside without the video, ma'am. If you are audible, at least we can survive with that. I think we can continue in the interest of time. We have less than 5 minutes before we are cut off. Can you hear me? Unfortunately, there's. It seems we have a technicality there. I'd then call on Mr. Williams from Forced to ascend the presidium. Unwele uthixo unwele 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 uthixo unwele
Are we on? Okay, good. Diavakala Mos, I'm sure. Good, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing on behalf of Mr. Quinana from Foster Discovery Center. This is Mr. Williams. Having known Mr. Sixoto and worked with him for a brief period in 2016, I can proudly say that we have lost a leader. I think from just the congregation in Namhlanje, we can see the impact that he's had on our lives. A man with a very hard work ethic, a strong-willed individual who was not afraid to speak his mind. A man who had a very bright and prosperous future ahead of him. At first, Mr. Sixoto was able to introduce eFame Lab, which is an international competition on science communicators. He then presented a paper in Pretoria on the effects of cannabis. I'm sure he has cannabis by now. Okay, to give it its scientific name, it's tetrahydrocannabinol. Yeke bani yazi. Azipina detailed. Bani yazi ni yeke. Dilipinde lo gama. Tetrahydrocannabinol. Google that. And his picture can be found outside the Foster Discovery Center. For students, if you know the Foster Discovery Center EP by Eluk, if you just walk down by Eluk, opposite there's a building with many pictures there, you'll see Foster Discovery Center. Now, being that it was my first year working at the center, I learned a lot from him with regards to just work experience. I remember on my first day, Tifika Paya, I didn't know anyone and it was empty. Tifika early. And said, hey, I'm going to go 8 months, but you started to 9:09. And it's wrong. I don't know. Did you join? Yes, sir. And Umdemos joined. Yes, sir. So from that day onwards, we built a sort of friendship relationship within the workplace, and we then I experienced a lot from him. With that being said, Anzobam, the program director, don't worry, Kashalako, still on time. Good, thank you. Good, thank you. Because the word of the day was concise, Mos. There's chilo, concise, brief, to the point. Just to end it all, words are simply not enough, and his life deserves to be celebrated to the fullest. And with that, I thank you.
I think we can learn a thing or two. We're fine now. Thank you. Sigqibele kudala ukeshukume mos ne? Sigqibele kudala niyarhalela? Sonqeni. As I call to the fore, if Mr. Andile Gama was supposed to join us virtually, I'm not sure if we still have that luxury. But I'm informed as well that he has sent his message, so it could easily be read out. Ubage uyewa kaukapa. Kunye no Miss Nomtebe as bazomela thina. Thina zichomi zikawara. Bazomela othina. Chomi zikawara. Khona ke enye iPGM ekwakusiliwa silungisele enye iPGM akuliwe esasikweni. Akuliwa esasikweni ngumphansi phezulu. Bazayikhumbula abanye la Iraka James ucwele wayisilwa nathi kula xesha. Usaphumile ucwele wayikwela xesha kwela cala lilwa nathi I think nosidhengo sabo. Amanani ayavova ngapha ukuthi maninzi. Sihlela belo building silungisela iAGM. Kodwa ibuild up ukuthi ibuild up yakule AGM sike sabamba ihlathana lethu ke singamabutho. Ukhona lo caba nabo atsho mina umkabane sipha poolside athi yabona John sizayiqhoba ngempama la ntwana bamethi namhlanje ndithi hayi wara kaloku apha kuyapolitikwa akho mntana mntu Sendithela uba mawungade ukuphakanyiswa izandla wena raise le nto ufuna uyithetha nje ungadanga usisandla wathi hayi ndivile John hayi safika ehlathini zakha mani wasondela ngathi uyadlala sathi sithi hayi abethe uwaxa impama ndithi hayi bo wenza njani ngoku laqabane oko wayimane sithi yandibetha le nkokheli sithi hayi bo akuliwe esasikweni kalo ngumntu obenjalo ke uyamazi umaduna lo akamazi ngempama ikhona igema abaxabana kulaa nto ka-higher graduate akucaba umkabani uyazithulula laa nto benze kusithenkosi akayigcwaliseli le isephandulwazi utitshe ephandulwazi wasuka ebusuku umawande wakhwela emotweni ngicaba akwazi ulala siyagalela izithonga kuWhatsApp ungumntu onjalo hayi aqhube ebusuku le nonkosikazi bazosabela uba uthini nawo phaa phambi kwebhityu akoyiki ngakoyikiswa ufika kwabo beme apho wathi ndisatsho nangoku umawande kungumntu nawakhonkeza ndakubetha ngempama wathi hayi kaloku andiflerhanga apha emakwapeni funeka simane singena ke sincanda kwezo zinto ngoba kwakudibe nophuma silwe ababini but be that as it may he remained fun being around with and ndicela ke ndisazama ube siba kubaleke nengoma ke xa sowulapha ziyayenza loo nto ngozisabalekileyo ke ingoma masibe sicela Miss Nomthebe azothethela and mandiyeke izamaziya uzothethela iitshomi onomthina mikhulu spelelanga
Aspelelanga kusotuwara aspelelanga haya aspelelanga aspelelanga mandinibulise nonke ngegama lenkosi ndingumiss Ziyanda Nomthebe andingomisi nje omncinanana departmental head wonke umntu othetha isilungu kwesasikolo ntorha kuso usifumana apha uwara ke uke wathi last year xa uqala le nto ye-COVID ngokutrenda la voice note ethi yigesi le wathi emhlobam uzigade manje kule nto yale gesi ngoba sikujonga ube nguprincipal kule minyaka izayo ndonyuliwe ngapha kuba ndiyi-ring leader yabatata abadala bonaba nabonaba bonke nje njengobabona apha bebadala kangaka baxhomekeke apha kum nabo ngefana uba ndivele phaa nam kwiproject ndingowaseLusikisiki 7 hours away from here idecision yoba sizofika apha nomfo kaCwele siyithathe exactly at 11:32 ebusuku wasuka eFlagstaff wafika endlini yam ndihlala kwenye imansion ke ngondingumphathi andifuna ungatsho andifuni kungatsho kaloku wara ube